Number 4, structure your talk logically. Writing your presentation is sometimes difficult, as it's not always obvious where to begin from. A good way to structure your presentation is to start with a bang, then do an introduction, a short introduction, then go through the key points with the examples, recap, and then finish with a very nice bang. So start with a bang. This is an attention-getting hook which suits your personality and topic and is something that will capture the attention of your audience, something that will make them curious of what is about to come. If you're asking yourself what kind of bangs you could use, there are different types. You could start with something like, this presentation could save you up to €1,000,000, or appeal to common memory and say, you may remember when we were young and we all wanted to get rich. Or evoke a hypothetical situation. Imagine that you could save €1,000,000. Or simply create a metaphor that would resonate with your audience. You could also open up with 2 or 3 ambiguous clues to your message to create a sort of mystery, or you could simply start by asking a question or make the participants do something. Like this, you start by involving them. Then make a short introduction to what you'll talk about. This is where you tell them what you're going to tell them later on. This is where you send the key message. You should always start with this key message. Effectively state your conclusion as your first sentence. This will clearly tell your audience what you're about to say and will keep them interested. It will also raise a lot of questions in their mind. Then you got to tell them. Go through the key points by using always what's in it for them, and do not forget to give examples for each point. Use examples, demonstrations, stories, illustrations, and even exercises. Ask yourself, what is the logical question coming after I state my message? Put yourself in the participant's shoes and ask questions. When you do that, you'll be able to anticipate the flow and answer all the questions and anticipate them and not bore the participants. Pick up the last thing that you said and ask a question and then answer that question during your presentation. All you have to do after that is to prove it with the examples that I was telling you just before. In other words, the major part of your talk should be filled with examples that clearly illustrate your conclusion. Then make a summary, or even better, ask the participants to summarize the key points that you mentioned. And then finish very memorably with another bang. You'll remain in your audience mind. I always think of my presentations as small gifts for my participants. So if at the beginning I start with a bang and I create a very nice structure, specially prepared for my participants, at the end I wrap it all up in a nice pack with a nice bang that will be my ribbon, and I offer it to my participants to remember me. You'll see that this method of structuring is based on what's going on in the mind of your audience. If you structure it like this, you can't go wrong.